Alright, what is good YouTube? It is DefCon TCG, fresh out the shower, just got back from work, and I'm here to record a video because I did get top 32 at the Indianapolis Regional with Hydrapple. Now, this is not a deck that was on my radar for the longest time. Honestly, I just thought it looked fun, and I didn't take this regional very seriously because I don't have any IC, and I'm pretty far away on points for Worlds, so I think I had to like top 4 the event to get my invite. So I decided to go with something that I thought that looked fun, and I had my own little fun twist to it as well. So I'm going to go over the deck list first, and then I'm going to go over my matchups and a little bit of an announcement at the end. So looking at the deck list, it's a little bit different from multiple Hydrapple lists that I've seen. I do have the slightly bigger Applin Diplin line, because I wanted to either start the Applin and Diplin consistently because of the addition of Festival Grounds. Now, Festival Grounds is not a card you usually see in the Hydrapple deck. It's more of something that's more devoted to the Festival lead deck where this Diplin is mainly played. Now, Diplin can still just use Festival Grounds to attack 2 times, which did come in handy against a lot of the 2-prizer decks. And it also helps against a lot of the 1-prizer decks. If their HP is less than 100, you can definitely take 2 prizes that way. So this was a cool way to kind of cheese some extra prizes against unsuspecting people. Unfortunately, it only works pretty much once a set, but usually that's enough to just kind of steal you a game, which it definitely stole me a lot of games this weekend. Festival Grounds is definitely my MVP of the weekend. And now, if you're unfamiliar with what this deck does, Hydrapple has, I'll throw them up on the screen somewhere. Hydrapple has an attack called Syrup Storm, which does 30 plus 30 more damage for each grass energy you have in play. But with the addition of this Meganium down here, Meganium makes all grass energies count as 2 grass energies. So every grass energy you have in play is 60 more damage. Now, it also has an ability that lets you attach a grass energy to a Pokemon and then heal it for 30. This is really good against things like Dragapult, because generally Dragapult will kind of ping your Ogerpons or your Pheasantipity for 1 damage, to be able to knock it out with a clean Phantom Dive later. So you taking this away from them makes it a lot harder for them to take a multi-prize turn, which is what we want to do with this deck. We want to wall with a big Hydrapple. It's hard for them to kill. If they're not playing the Dusknoir version, it's going to be impossible for them to one-shot the Hydrapple. So your Hydrapple usually gets to take multiple prizes. Very cool card, and I had a ton of fun playing this deck, to be honest. I think this is probably one of the most fun decks I've played to a regional in a long time, probably since I played Chenpao. Like EUIC is the most fun I've had playing a deck, just because usually I play like Guardy or Zoroark, you know, whatever, boring. But moving to supporters, obviously you have to play 4 Lily cards, is absolutely broken. 2 Dawn, I think this card was kind of mid, but it's like the best at what it could do, I guess. Just being able to search out those evolution lines is really solid. 2 Boss, I would have maybe like a 3rd Boss somewhere in this list, but 2 I think is the minimum you can play. And then I had 1 Petrol, 1 Lana, 1 Judge. All 3 of these put in a lot of work. I would have honestly probably liked another copy of Judge and or Petrol, but that's for future lists. 3 Force of Vitality, be able to cheat all of those grass evolutions into play. I felt like 3 was honestly more than enough. I never really wanted the 4th. I think there was like 1 or 2 times throughout the day where I was like, oh man, I really wish I had a Force in my hand. But that was just a kind of surprising multiple. Like if I prize 2 Force and only have 1 in deck, then yeah, it can get a little bit scary. But aside from that, I think 3 was more than enough, especially with the addition of Festival Grounds. There's got to be a cut for it. Now for the items, there's 4 Bug Catching Set, 3 Ultra Ball. Now I know most of us play 4 Ultra Ball, but I wanted to include some amount of Pokepads. Having Ultra Ball for something like Celebi or one of the Meganium, Diplin, Applin pieces, or even Gigas feels terrible. So I wanted some amount of search to be able to get like low cost search. Also, most of the list play 14 energy. I opted to cut 2 energies for 2 Night Stretcher. I had gone to a local at one of the shops by me called Sully's Abode, and I led my Pheasantipity and it got turn 2 KO'd, and I prized my Meowth, and I was like, man, my deck had a Night Stretcher, and I could probably do something here. So I decided to cut 2 of the grass energies for 2 copies of Night Stretcher, and I think that worked really well for me. This card was very good all day. It could become like a second Pheasantipity, it could become a second Giga, second Meowth, another energy. So definitely was happy with the addition of the 2 Night Stretcher. And then I had the Unfair Stamp as well. Unfair Stamp was a very good ace spec. I think in the future maybe there could be a different ace spec you could play with the next format and the next set. But I think for this format, Unfair Stamp is probably your best ace spec. A-Spec gets a disruption card. It also lets you draw a new hand, so you're kind of a combo deck. So if you have to sack something like Celebi in the early game, then it's fine. Like, you know, you get all your evolutions down, and then you stamp your opponent turn 2, and then I have to deal with a big Hydrapple with 3 cards in hand. So very solid. We're going to look over into the matchups, but first, I wanted to actually give a shout out to my team, the Lost Zone Kitchen. Now, everyone on the team made day 2, which is pretty hype. It's really cool seeing all the team together at this regional. I know that we've kind of been scattered the last couple of regionals, and now we got all the gangs together. You can see my buddy Austin, he went 801. Christian, he went 7-2. My buddy Colin here, he was, what, 6-2-1. I started 7-2. Cyrus was also, I believe, 7-2. Yup. And then, yeah, Ryan was 6-2-1 and ended up finishing the best out of all of us. So, only by a couple spots, though. You know, I was second. So, you know, who's counting? But, yeah, shout out to the whole gang. Christian and Ryan and I all made top 32. I think Austin just fell short of that top 32 marker. I think Cyrus ended up 64 and Colin it up in 128. So, pretty good finish from the kitchen. The worst someone did in our team was top 128 out of a 2,000 person regional. So, that's pretty commendable. Everybody did great. And yeah, we're going to move over to the matchups. So, looking over to here, I did hit some very weird matchups throughout the day. Now, you see here, round 1, I hit Hydreigon. It's a bye, unfortunately, for my opponent. It's a dark deck, so you're able to just kind of set up a big board. It's really hard for Hydreigon to beat you because you can one-shot their Hydreigon, and their 130 all attack doesn't really affect you that much. Meganium is 160. Can't hit Ogerpon on the bench. It doesn't kill Hydrapple, so I got a pretty... It was a pretty easy matchup. Unfortunately for my opponent, just hit the bad matchup at round 1, hit a grass. Then I actually hit one of my Chicago locals, Kevin Daichi. I believe this was a 2-0 as well. I won round 1, 2-0 round. Won this round 2-0 as well. And I think this matchup's absolutely terrible for Lopunny. Just be having to deal with a giant Hydrapple. You just one-shot Lopunny and they have to two-shot you. So, yeah, if your 3-prizer two-shotting my 2-prizer, my 2-prizer's one-shotting your 3-prizer, that's a tough one. So then round 3, I played against Matthew Meyer. Playing a Festival League. And actually, this was, I think, the first matchup where the Festival Ground mattered. I was able to take an early lead game 1. And I think that's the only reason I was able to honestly get a W in this matchup, because I think the Festival League matchup was pretty bad. Hydrapple can definitely struggle with the 1-prize matchups. And then this round, round 4, I lost to Harrison Browning. This was a really close game. We went to game 3. And I whiffed a KO on a Dragapult after going like Lily, draw 6, Fez, draw 3. I had to draw 2 energy, only drew 1. So unfortunately, I lost that game. So started 4-1, pretty respectable. And my opponent was also playing 4 Fire, 4 Boss, and a Moltres. So definitely a tough matchup. Next round, I hit a Dragapult, ended up winning that one. I think this deck's Dragapult matchup was pretty good. So I think I could have probably squeaked out the win against this with a little bit more luck. But yeah, I ended up beating the Dragapult the next round, I believe 2-0. And then I believe I won this one 2-1 against the Starmie Frostlass. Jared trapped me in the first game with a Totodile on my Celebi. And so the game was pretty much just instantly over. So I scooped that one up. I managed to win games 2 and 3. Then I lose to a Dunsparce Alakazam. I think this matchup's like 100-0 for Alakazam into the Hydrapple deck. It's really hard even with the Festival Ground and the multiple 1-prizers. A lot has to go right for you. A lot has to go wrong for them. Didn't end up going down that way. This is the first time I get 2-0'd. I think it's the only time I get... No. I think I got 2... No. I won this. I lost this one 2-1. I got 2-0'd by Christian later. I think that was the only time I got 2-0'd this event. And then, thankfully, you know, the Pokegods looked upon me. I hit Isaiah Williams, which I've played against him before. I played him at NAIC 2 years ago, and he beat me with Grimmsnarl. I was playing Raging Ball, so I told him, I was like, listen, bro, gotta get my revenge. And when we flipped our cards over, I flipped over Chikorita, he flipped over Zorua, and I was like, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, right? So I ended up winning this game, this set. It was a really close game 1, actually. He had a point where he had Ultra Balled away one of his bosses order. Another matchup with 4 boss plus Yveltal. And I could have potentially lost game 1 because I had benched a Celebi to play the game. And so he was able to trap it with Yveltal, do like some funny stuff. So definitely a close game there. And then round 9, I win this match against Zoroark 2-1. I think game 1 I brick really bad. Scoop that one up. And then I win games 2 and 3 pretty quickly. I think game 3, he draws like the bad hand. And then it's kind of like, all right, we played one real game in the second one. And then let's see. Round 10, I played against another Festival League. This is the first round of the second day, because we played round 1 of Phase 2, day 1. Hit another Festival Lead. I managed to win this one 2-0 somehow. I thought this matchup was really scary for me, just because they're able to put a lot of pressure on you. They can potentially one-shot your Hydrapple. You don't have a really great response into Sea King. So I managed to win this one, I believe, 2-1 or 2-0. Let me see. Okay, I don't know why it's not loading. Okay. Yeah, I managed to win this one, actually, yeah, 2-1. And then I lose to Christian. He's playing the Alakazam deck. This is a team kill. Knocks me out of contention for cut, I believe, because I don't think cut was X2-1, or I don't know. Unfortunate. And then I think Christian ends up getting top 32, so I think he loses one of his next 2 as well. Then I play my buddy Xander playing Dragapult, which is really unfortunate because I believe he got down paired into me. But I just, you know what I mean? I was in contention for cash still, so I had to play it out. I think I lose game 1 because of a pretty bad hand, and then I'm able to win games 2 and 3 because I'm playing the game. I think I get mildly lucky in game 2 because I believe he prized... I get pretty lucky in the fact that he prized 2 Dreepies, and then I believe my first KO of the game was a boss on a Dracloak, so I left him with like 1 Dragapult / Dracloak to play around with, while he was kind of nice stretching for the Dreepies in like the mid to late game. And then the last round I hit Slowking. I think this match was actually really scary. Fortunately for me, my opponent had to bench a Kangaskhan game 1 to play the game, so I was able to kill through 3 Slowkings, and then I knocked out 1 with a Meganium, so my opponent was able to go 2-2-2. They went 2-2-1, and so I was able to go kill 1 prizer, kill 1 prizer, kill 1 prizer, boss kill Kangaskhan. So I ended up winning that game 1, and then game 2, basically the game comes down to like, game 2, I have to use my Pheasantipity. I have like 7 cards in deck with 3 grass. I have to draw 2 of them off of like my draw for turn plus Fez. I think for turn I draw grass. I Fez for 3, and there's no grass energy there. And then it's like, okay, well, if I Ogerpon the energy to my... Or if I put the energy in my hand to my Ogerpon, I draw a card, it's a grass, but it doesn't let me get more into play because I only have the singular Ogerpon and the singular Hydrapple, so I needed to like attach 1 for turn as well. So I end up whiffing the KO, so I like retreat into the Applin on my board, and I pass. I just kind of hope my opponent doesn't have Boss's Order. Thankfully they don't, and so we end up like tying that game 2. So because I won game 1, I won the set, and I finished 10-3. And yeah, I had a lot, like, this deck was a ton of fun to play. I think your matchup spread is pretty good with this deck. Like, out of all the decks I hit, the worst matchup I probably hit was like the 2 Festival Lead and the 2 Alakazam, which like the universe balanced me out right because it gave me 2 Zoroarks. So, and Zoroark is definitely not a popular deck at this event. I'd be surprised if it was like 4 or 5%. So I hit like a Slowking too, which probably should be a bad matchup, but I think I just able to outpace him. So like you look, I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1 prizer decks. And let's see, I managed to go 1 win, 1 loss, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 win. So I went 3-2 into the 1 prizer decks, and then I pretty much beat every 2 prizer deck except this 1 Dragapult. And pretty surprisingly low amount of Dragapults I hit. I only hit 1, 2, 3. All of them did have the Moltres, which is unfortunate, but yeah, that was my tournament run. And I did get to meet my boy Pokegame, so I've watched videos for a long time. I've played a lot of singles because of him. Like I played like Gen 5 OU, if any of you guys are familiar with like Smogon. And yeah, him and Blunder, like 2 of my favorite guys in that space. Like I've bought like agency merch, and so yeah, cool dude. Glad he got a picture with me. Shout out to my buddy Kevin when we were playing our game. I was trying to figure out the math to KO a Lopunny. He's like, bro, do I need to send you a times table? We sent me the times table, and I made it my screensaver. Actually, it still is my screensaver as like a meme. And yeah, so thanks for Kevin for that. I had a good laugh every time I opened my phone. And yeah, shout out to Dragon Shield for being one of my sponsors. And yeah, I used Black Dragon Shields the whole weekend. Didn't even re-sleeve for day 2. Never broke a sleeve. Sleeves are goated. And shout out to 88 Card House, Mike and the whole team for being one of my other sponsors. For just always, you know, believing me. And just being awesome, having good vibes at events. I love seeing Mike at events and the whole 88 Card House crew. So hopefully I can see them later, because I'm unfortunately not attending NAIC. I did not get in. And then obviously shout out to the Lost Zone Kitchen, the whole squad. And yeah, we'll be hoping for a big finish from one of our guys at New Orleans. So yeah, if you guys like videos like this, please give me a subscription. Please give me a like. Leave a comment. You know, these yap sessions are yapnificent, and I want to do more of them. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.